what you need to do is go to your dashboard, and then in here on your dashboard, if you see I have repeats of my classes, and beginning of this quarter, as you know, was kind of rough. So they could be combined. So what I did was I left the enrollment for the largest class alone. But if you happened to be in this other class, I scooted you over so everyone is in the same. You don't have to worry about work you already did or work you're trying to do. I'll transfer everything needs to be transferred. But please work in this high school geometry C. That's the combined. So when you get in here, go in the class, we are going to work on our angles and measurement right now. So if you need something other than just this video, these videos right here are also me kind of talking about the same thing. So on this, what we want to make sure you know is angles are measured between 80 and 180 degrees. Angles less than 90 are called acute. Angles that are 90 are called right. Angles that are more than 90 are called obtuse. Complementary angles are two angles which add to 90. Supplementary angles are two angles that add to 180. They are often found together, adjacent, forming a straight line. Vertical angles are made out of two intersecting lines where the opposite angles are congruent or have the same measure. Okay, so here's some notes. I have so angles between 0 and 180. This is what an acute angle looks like. A right angle will be shown like this. Obtuse will look like this. A straight angle is basically a straight line. It's 180 degrees. Complementary angles add to 90. So if I have angle X and angle Y, I know this is 90 because of this little guy here. So I know my X and my Y will equal 90. For supplementary, they add to 180. So when these guys add together, they are going to, remember the straight angle? They are going to add up to the straight angle. Typically, you'll have one obtuse angle and one acute angle, but that's not always. So in this case, we'd have X plus Y will equal 180. Now notice these angles share this little leg right here. These are adjacent angles because they share one side. There's a thing called vertical angles. V-E-R-T-I. I don't know how to spell vertical. I'm a math teacher. Vertical angles are when you have two crossing lines like this. And you're looking at angles that are not adjacent. So they do not share the same leg. They're opposite each other. They kind of make an X shape, a V on each side. These are vertical angles and they will be equal. These two right here are also vertical angles. They are equal. So supplementary, they're going to share a side. Vertical, they do not have sides in common. They are opposite. Okay? So I know that complementary is going to equal 90. and my x plus y equals 90. So if my x equals 52, my y, to find the y, I am going to go 52 plus whatever the y is going to equal 90. So hopefully you have done your algebra already, and you know that we subtract 52 on both sides so that you have the y alone. And you know that this angle is 38. If you want to check, add 38 plus 52, make sure it's a 90. Another thing you will see is if this one is 5x and this one is 25, you gotta set it up the exact same way. I know 5x plus 25 is going to equal 90. So to get rid of the 25, I'm going to subtract the 25 on both sides. I have 5x will equal 65. Now to get rid of a 5 times x, I'm going to divide by 5 on both sides because it will cancel out this 5. I'm going to have the x by itself. 65 divided by 5 is 13. So when I solve for x, the x is 13. If I want to check this, I will go 13 times 5 plus 25 and see if it equals 90. We do the same thing with supplementary angles. Okay, same thing. I have my 180 degrees. I have it split into two pieces. My x plus my y is going to equal 180. So if I make my x 152 and I want to know how much y is, same thing we did up here, except it's going to equal 180. 152 plus y equals 180. I'm going to subtract on both sides. So y equals 180 minus 152 is 28. Okay, 25 times x plus 80 equals 180. Start by subtracting the 80 on both sides. Then I'm going to divide by the 25. So my x is going to equal 4. Now, every once in a while, it will do this to you. This is the exact same thing. You're just going to set it up with 3 on this side. 53 plus 45 plus x is going to equal 180. Combine your terms. I have 98 plus x is 180. I'm going to subtract 98. on the other side and find out that my x is going to be 82. Okay, so this is what it looks like in words. So the measure of the supplement, so we know we have 180 degrees of a 150-degree angle. So I know it's going to be a straight line. 150 is a blank angle. So you're trying to find out what this side is. You're trying to figure out what this side is. Same thing as we did when we had the picture. 150 minus plus x equals 180. Your missing angle is going to be 30 degrees. You just need to remember, if you are doing supplement 180, if it asks you the measure of the complementary of an angle, that is 90. Okay, so this means I am going to have a 180 angle because it's a supplement, 80 degrees, 180 degrees. 4 times, so I know I'm going to have one angle that's 4 times as big as the other one. So if this angle, if I call it x, and I want to figure out how much is 4 times x, I would just fill it in this way, right? 4 times x. Then solve it the same way as always. 5x equals 180 because I combined the 4 plus 1 more. And divide by 5. Now let's back that up. Okay. 4x plus x equals 180, like we always did. Combine your terms. 4x plus another x is going to be 5x. 5x, I'm going to divide because this is multiply, so x is going to equal, we divided by 5. Ooh, that was times. 180 divided by 5, I get 36. This is your answer if it asks for x. Right? X is 36. Now, sometimes it asks for x, but sometimes it asks for the angles. So, in order to find the angles, I come back to this picture I had, 4x and x. So I know x is 36. 4 times x, so I go 4 times 36 is 144. So in the little answer box, I would have 36, because that's the smaller one, and then I would put 144, because that's the larger one. It usually asks you to go smallest to largest. So what is x? You just put what you found. What are the angles? You need to go back to your picture here and put in the actual angles. Okay, let's do some verticals. How do you spell vertical? I don't know. Now, anyway, I have a situation looking like this. And I have a 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I know the angle 1 is going to be equal to angle 3 because these are vertical angles. I know angle 2 is going to be equal to angle 4 because those are vertical angles. I also know that angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 180 because they're adjacent over a straight line. So all of these that are adjacent, angle 2 plus angle 3, 180. Okay? All of these that are adjacent going around the circle will equal 180. So this tells me that angle 2 equals 25. And that gives me a box for all the angles. Okay, so 2 is 25. If 2 is 25, straight across that, 4 is going to be 25. So how do I figure out what 1 and 3 are? Okay. 1 and 2 are supplementary. So I'm going to go 25 plus whatever 2 is. I'm going to make it an x. I know that's going to equal 180. When I subtract, I get 155. So I know angle 1 is 155. And because 1 is equal to 3, 3 is going to be 155. Just notice on your picture, you're almost always going to have an obtuse angle and an acute angle. All the big ones are equal. All the small ones are equal. Don't worry so much about what numbers they give you. Plug in the numbers and then look at the ones that are equal. What if I have two complementary angles are 5y plus 7 and 9y minus 29. Find the measures. Okay. So if I were to draw this, it's going to be 90 degrees because it is, it is a complementary, so it equals 90 degrees. I know I'm going to have my two angles. One of them is going to be 5y plus 7. The other one will be 9y minus 29. Now, what I know about complementary angles is they will add to 90. 5y plus 7 plus 9y minus 29 is going to equal 90. Combine like terms. 14y minus 22 equals 90. Okay, this is minus. In order to get minus, get rid of minus, we're going to add. So 90 plus 22 is going to be 112. And then divide. Y is going to equal 8. Now again, like above, it could ask you two different questions. What is y? Okay, y equals 8. What are the angles? Sometimes we'll ask you what is y, and y equals 8. Sometimes we'll ask you what are the angles. So again, like we did before, you're going to go 5 times 8 plus 7. And down here, you're going to go 9 times 8 minus 29. And I left my handy dandy calculator somewhere. 5 times 8 is 40, so this one would be 47. 9 times 8, 72. 3. So this angle would be 43. Okay, and then I would list them in order. Again, like I did up there, I would have 43 and 47.